stop right there. Before you scroll away, let me ask you a question that will change your life forever. Have you ever thought, does being good keep you safe? Does doing good protect you? Does generosity build loyalty? Does honesty earn love? If you answered yes to any of these questions, you are about to discover the most dangerous lie that society has told you. The biggest mistake people make is believing that being good means being safe. But here's the painful truth. Goodness is like a wood fire. It burns everything you've built, your love, your life, your dreams, everything. Hervey Cleckley understood this. He saw good sultans fall, witnessed kind managers being destroyed, watched generous people being betrayed by those they helped, and wrote it all down. Today, I'm going to share his hidden truth with you, the shocking materiality of goodness that no one talks about. In the next few minutes, you're going to learn why your goodness leaves you powerless, that people don't respect your kindness, they exploit it, and most importantly, how to transform goodness from your greatest weakness into your most powerful weapon. But first, let's clarify something. I didn't say be bad. I'm not saying harm people. What I'm showing you is being good strategically, not blindly, because the truth is that in a world full of lions, being a gazelle means being live bait. Now I want you to write this affirmation in the comments. I choose strategic beauty. From this moment on, everything is changing. You will no longer use goodness blindly. You will use it strategically. In this video, we're going to reveal why goodness doesn't always protect you. In fact, how it often destroys you. And we'll see how to transform it into a real source of power. If you're ready, let's start with the first shocking truth. Close your eyes. First article, goodness means exposure. Think of the most naive person you know. Now think about this. Do you really respect that person, or is that person you call when you need something? Don't fool yourself. Think well. The truth is, being good makes you vulnerable. It doesn't keep you safe. When you're constantly naive, people don't take you seriously. They start not seeing you. They know you won't respond. They know you won't say no. They know they can walk around you because you're so naive. You become the doormat at the company, the friend who always pays the bill at entertainment, the family member who always says yes to help even if it harms you. Let me tell you about a person. He was the best team captain I knew. He always helped his team, always protected them, always put their needs first. Do you know what happened? Someone else moved up the ranks at work instead of him. Why? Because kind people can't look like leaders. They look like servants. People don't respect your goodness. They suck it. Think about it. When someone is always ready to help, their help becomes worthless. When someone never draws a boundary line, people continue to cross them. When someone never shows their teeth, people assume they don't have any. Your goodness becomes your weakness, because it signals to the world that you can be used. Hervey once said, "The tiger cannot protect itself from traps, and the fox cannot defend itself from lions. Therefore, a person must be a fox to recognize traps, a lion to frighten wolves." You're trying to survive as a gazelle in a world full of lions, and that's exactly why you keep getting hurt. Leave this affirmation in the comments. I protect my energy. Second article, the generosity trap. Let me tell you something that will blow your mind. The more you give to people, the less they appreciate it. I know it sounds backwards, but listen to me. Generosity creates short-term noise. People stand up to applaud you, they say nice things, they tell everyone how magnificent you are. It feels good, doesn't it? But over time, something twisted happens. Your generosity breeds dependency, entitlement, and eventually resentment. Let me explain why. When you help someone once, they're grateful. When you help them twice, they thank you. But when you help them 20 times, they start to expect it. It becomes ordinary now. Your extraordinary kindness becomes their normal. When you stop helping, they don't remember the 5 times you said yes. They remember the 1 time you said no. Suddenly you become the bad one. You become the bad guy. Think about parents who give their children everything they want. The first few times the children get excited and are grateful, but soon the gifts become expected. The new tablet is no longer special. It's just what mom and dad do, and if the parents say no once the kids get angry and find them unfair. The same thing happens in friendships. You always pay the bill outside, you always take everyone around, you always help with moving. At first they appreciate it, but eventually they stop thanking you. They just assume you'll handle it, and when you expect a favor from them once they're suddenly very busy. This is the generosity trap. You give until giving becomes your identity, and the moment you need to receive or just stop giving, you become the bad guy in everyone's story. Your constant generosity doesn't build loyalty, it builds continuity. People become addicted to your giving. And like any addict, they get angry when their supply is cut off. The psychological truth behind this is people have something called hedonic adaptation. We quickly get used to good things. What once felt special becomes ordinary. What once felt generous becomes expected. So your repeated acts of kindness lose their power over time. They become invisible. People stop noticing them because they're so common, but your single act of saying no stands out like a red flag. They remember it. They focus on it. They complain about it. This happens everywhere. At work, if you always get angry, getting angry becomes your normal. Nobody celebrates anymore, but when you leave on time once you're suddenly not committed, in relationships, if you always compromise, compromise becomes expected, but if you stand firm once you're being difficult. Hervey once said, benefits should be given gradually, this way they taste better. The man understood something most people never learn. Scarcity creates value, abundance destroys it. Leave this affirmation in the comments. I give strategically. Third article, The Mask of Virtue. A truth that might disturb you. Society believes in appearances, not reality. People don't care if you're really beautiful. They care if you look beautiful. They don't judge your heart. They judge your image. This means that to maintain dominance and respect, you must wear the mask of goodness while keeping control beneath the surface. Look at the smartest people you know. Do you think they got there by being genuinely kind to everyone? No. They got there by being smart about when, how, and to whom they show their goodness. They smile in public and make tough decisions privately. They show mercy when it serves them and show power when needed. They understand that the appearance of virtue is more powerful than virtue itself. This isn't about being fake, it's about being strategic. Think about it like this. A surgeon might need to cut you to save your life. Is the surgeon conscienceless? Cruel? No, the doctor is doing what needs to be done, even if it causes temporary pain. Real leaders understand that sometimes being truly good means looking temporarily bad. Sometimes helping someone means saying no to them. Sometimes protecting your team means making unpopular decisions. The mask of virtue isn't about deception, it's about timing. It's about knowing when to show your soft side and when to show your steel. Most people do this backwards. They show their weaknesses to enemies, their strengths to friends. Smart people do the opposite. Hervey once said, everyone sees what you look like. Few people experience who you are. He understood that perception shapes reality. If people perceive you as powerless, you become powerless. If they perceive you as powerful, you become powerful. I want you to leave this affirmation in the comments. I control my image. Fourth article. The economics of power. Everything you do has an account. Every good deed you give, every moment you say yes when you want to say no, every moment you spend helping others instead of building yourself. Most good people never think about this. They give until they have nothing left. Then they wonder why they feel finished, sad, and used. What you need to understand is your time, your energy, and your resources are limited. When you spend them on others, you have less for yourself. Acknowledging this is not selfishness, it's mathematics. Unlimited kindness exhausts your power, and when you're exhausted, you can't help anyone, including yourself. Think about helicopter safety instructions. They tell you to put your oxygen mask on first, then help others. Why? Because if you pass out trying to help someone else first, now two people need rescuing instead of one. Life works the same way. If you exhaust yourself helping others, you become someone who needs help. Now you're a burden instead of an asset. Smart people understand that to survive and thrive, resources and energy must be carefully protected. This doesn't make you bad. It makes you sustainable. I learned this lesson the hard way. For years, I said yes to everyone. Every request, every favor, every quick question that turned into hours of work. I thought I was being good, but do you know what happened? I started getting angry at people. I felt angry and bitter. My own project suffered. My own dreams were postponed. And ironically, I became unable to help those who really needed it. That's when I realized something very important. Saying yes to everyone means saying no to yourself. And when you abandon yourself, you eventually abandon everyone else too. The most generous people in empires weren't those who said yes to everything. They were those who said no to most things, so they could say yes to the right things in a big way. Hervey once said, "He who wishes to be obeyed must know how to command. If you can't command your own time, energy, and resources, you can't command others. If you can't lead yourself, you can't lead others." Now I want you to leave this affirmation in the comments. I protect my resources. Fifth article, strategic use of virtue. I'm not telling you to be emotionless. I'm not saying mercy, honesty, and generosity should be thrown away. What I'm saying is, these virtues must be used like a knife at exactly the right time for maximum impact. A sword sitting on a stand doesn't protect anyone, but a sword in the hands of a skilled ninja. At the right moment can save a kingdom. Your goodness should work the same way. When you help someone, it should be intentional. When you show mercy, it should be strategic. When you're generous, it should create the outcome you want. Let me give you an example. Instead of helping everyone a little bit, help the right people a lot. Instead of being kind to everyone, be extraordinarily naive to those who matter. Instead of saying yes to everything, say yes powerfully to things that align with your goals. This approach does three things. First, your help becomes more valuable because it's scarce. Second, you actually create more powerful positive impacts because you're focused. Third, people have more respect and love for you because you're selective. Think of the most respected leaders in history. Martin Luther King Jr. wasn't kind toward injustice. He confronted it powerfully. Sister Teresa didn't help everyone in the world. She focused intensely on the poorest of the poor. They were all good people, but they were strategically good. They used their virtue as a tool to create change, not as a way to be liked by everyone. How do you do this in real life? Before saying yes to any desire, ask yourself three questions. Does this align with my values and goals? Can I do this without exhausting myself? Will this person appreciate and respect what I'm doing? If the answer to any of these is negative, you don't just say no, you say no kindly, but firmly. When you say yes, you do it completely, you give your best effort, you create real value, you make a meaningful difference. This way, your yeses matter, your help is remembered, your generosity creates loyalty instead of entitlement. Hervey once said, "The promise given was a necessity of the past. The broken word is a necessity of the present." What he meant was, sometimes keeping your word to one person means breaking your word to another. Sometimes being good to your friends means being firm with your coworkers. Sometimes protecting your enthusiasm means disappointing people who want to use your time. Strategic virtue isn't about selfishness. It's about being effective. Leave this affirmation in the comments. I choose real kindness. Sixth article, the illusion of gratitude. Something that will change your view of human nature to the end. Gratitude is temporary. I know hearing this can hurt, but it's true. The benefits you do for people, the help you provide, the sacrifices you make, they have an expiration date in people's memories. Repeated favors stop feeling like gifts and turn into responsibility. What starts with thanks becomes, "You should do this," becomes, "Why didn't you do this?" You help your friend move, they're incredibly grateful. You help again 8 months later. They're still grateful but less excited. You help a third time, now they just expect it. The fourth time they need to move, they don't even ask. They just think you'll help, and if you can't, suddenly you're the bad guy. This is human psychology. We adapt to good treatment, we take it lightly, we start seeing extraordinary naivety as normal treatment. In the end, people remember the advantage they got from you, not the kindness you showed. This pattern repeats everywhere. In relationships, workplaces, friendships, and families, the person who always says yes becomes the person everyone expects to say yes. The reliable helper becomes the automatic choice for every problem. And when that person finally sets a boundary or says no, they're treated as if they betrayed everyone's trust. The more consistently naive you are, the less your kindness is valued, the more available you are, the less special your availability becomes. The more you give without asking for anything in return, the more people assume your giving has no cost to you. This is the illusion of gratitude. We think doing more good things will make people more grateful, but actually it makes them less grateful because they expect more good things. Those who have the most respect for you are usually the people you help very little. Those who don't take you seriously are usually the people you help the most. This doesn't mean people are bad, it means they're human, and people naturally adjust their expectations based on their experiences. Understanding this psychological reality doesn't mean you should stop being naive or helpful. It means you should be strategic about it, draw lines, make your help conditional sometimes. Let them experience what it's like when you're not there to solve their problems. Hervey once said, "People generally judge by eye, not by hand. Because everyone can see, but few can feel. People will see more clearly what you're doing now than what you did before. Your past kindness becomes invisible. Your current actions are what they judge you by." Leave this affirmation in the comments. I will create lasting impact. 7th article. Focus on results over intentions. The world judges results, not motives. You might have the cleanest heart in the world. Your intentions might be diamond, but if your actions don't create the results you want, none of this matters. History doesn't remember people with good intentions. It remembers those who get things done. Let me ask you something. Would you rather be remembered as someone who was really kind but didn't accomplish much, or as someone who seemed serious but actually made the world better? Most people choose the first option because it feels safer. But what they don't realize is being remembered only as naive means being completely forgotten. You see, there's a cruel but undeniable truth. Sometimes being truly beautiful means doing things that don't look beautiful and good at the moment. Superficial kindness usually creates ordinary comfort. Tough decisions create lasting impact. A parent who conditions their child isn't being bad. They're being good by teaching important lessons. A teacher who gives tough grades isn't cruel. They prepare students for the real world. A boss who sets high standards isn't unreasonable. They help their team grow stronger. Real goodness is about results, not appearances. It's about creating positive outputs, not just beautiful feelings. This is where most good people go wrong. They focus on being loved, wanting to be loved instead of being effective. They choose comfort over growth. They prefer temporary beauty over lasting positive change. But the truth is, if you're not getting the results you want from your goodness, you're not good enough. You're kind, which is different. Kind people avoid conflict. Smart people solve conflict. Kind people tell people what they want to hear. Good people tell them what they need to hear. Kind people maintain status. Good people create positive change. The world is full of kind people who accomplish nothing. What the world needs more of is good people who get results. Hervey once said, "The end justifies the means." Now, this doesn't mean you should do bad things to get good results. What it really means is, if your good intentions don't create beautiful results, it doesn't matter. People don't live inside your heart. They live with the consequences of your actions. Don't forget this. Real goodness requires courage. It requires you to prioritize results over appearances. It requires you to stop asking, "Will they love me?" and start asking, "Will this actually make things better?" At the end of the day, people won't remember your intentions. They'll remember what you built, what you changed, and what you left behind. Leave this affirmation in the comments. I focus on results. 8th article, legacy and survival. Let's talk about what really matters if you want, how you'll be remembered and what you'll leave behind. History doesn't honor only the good ones. It honors those who survived, the powerful ones, and those who turned their results into greatness. Think for a moment. Can you name 3 kind people from history? I think no, but you can probably name 3 people who created lasting change, even if they weren't always pleasant. Steve Jobs wasn't known for being kind. He had demands, he was a perfectionist, and was often difficult, but he created products that changed how billions of people live. I'm not telling you to be bad to people. What I'm saying is, being remembered for making a difference is better than being forgotten for being agreeable. What most people don't understand about legacy is if you don't survive long enough to make one, you can't leave a positive mark on the world, and surviving in business, in relationships, in life requires more than just being good. It requires being smart, strategic, and sometimes tough. The kindest people in the world can't help anyone if they're crushed by those who take advantage of them. The most generous people can't give anything if they give everything away too early. The most honest people can't speak the truth if they're silenced by those who prefer lies. You must survive first, then you can thrive. Then you can create the legacy you want. This means when you protect yourself, you can protect others. When you build yourself, you can lift others. When you get strong, you can help the weak. This isn't selfishness, it's strategic. It's not cruelty, it's carefulness. It's not about abandoning goodness. It's about protecting it so it can actually make a difference. Look at people who create lasting positive change in the world. They're not easy prey. They're not people pleasers. They're not afraid to say no, set boundaries, and make tough decisions. They understand that being good isn't about being weak. It's about being strong enough to choose goodness when it matters most. Hervey once said, "If you can't be both, it's better to be feared than loved." What he really meant was, respect matters more than love, impact matters more than popularity, results matter more than feelings. You don't have to choose between being good and being strong. You can be both. You should be both. But if you have to choose power first. Because power gives you the power to be good when it matters. Weakness makes you a victim even with the best intentions. We've come a long way today, but I want to leave you with the most important lesson. Goodness without strategy is the most dangerous trap you can fall into. It makes you vulnerable to those who will exploit you. It exhausts your resources until you have nothing left to give. It creates expectations you can't sustain and ultimately prevents you from creating the positive impact you really want to make. But goodness with strategy becomes a weapon of survival and impact. It becomes a tool to create real change. It becomes the foundation of a truly important life and legacy. Now you know the shocking cost of blind goodness. You understand why generosity can trap you, why gratitude fades, and why good intentions without good results are worthless. More importantly, you know how to transform your goodness from weakness to power, how to be kind strategically, how to help effectively, how to create important results. Before you leave this video, I want you to make a decision. Will you continue being good the old way, blindly limitless until it destroys you? Or will you start being good the new way strategically, effectively, powerfully? Here's the real question, and this is what will determine your future. Will you let goodness weaken you, or will you master it and turn it into power? The choice is yours, but now you have the knowledge to make a wise choice. If this video opened your eyes to something new, hit the like button. If you want more truth that challenges how you see the world, subscribe to this channel and turn on the notification bell. And if you know someone who needs to hear this message, share this video with them. Your goodness is not your weakness. When used strategically, it becomes your greatest power. Leave this final affirmation in the comments. I master strategic goodness. Remember, in a world full of wolves, don't be a sheep, be a shepherd. Be someone who protects the flock not through weakness, but through wisdom, strategy, and power. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video.